Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Global Adventure Show with travel writer Debbie Stone. So welcome, everyone. You know, Debbie Stone, travel writer Debbie Stone, we call her the Fire Monkey. She went to a wellness space in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, which is one of the most beautiful places in the country, I believe. She went to the Springs Resort and Spa. And I feel like reading her article, which is linked in the episode notes, it's up on blendradioandtv.com, that I need to go. And in fact, this is also not only airing on Big Blend Radio and our Global Adventures with Debbie Stone podcast, it's on our Quality of Life show, because I feel like we all may need this right now, especially before we hit the craziness of the holiday season. So welcome back, Debbie. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and I think that's absolutely right on the mark. It's something people really can do for themselves. And if you are feeling stressed and the holidays stress you out, or whatever work stresses you out, this is a great getaway. It's an incredible place, and made even more incredible because they went through a major transformative expansion recently. So it's even better, because I visited it several years ago and loved it then. But what they've done with it now is it really has elevated the place.
Oh, man. And this has actually really got some huge accolades, like #1 hot spring in the United States by USA Today's Best Reader's Choice Awards. And I love these awards. I know they come around every year. And I know some people who won these, like Medford, Oregon, which I know you've been to, got one of the top AVAs in the country. But when it's the Reader's Choice Awards, that is about the people who have actually been there, like you, who have been there now twice, to
Right.
get those accolades.
Absolutely. From where I live in Santa Fe, it's only a couple hours away. So it really is a place that is such an easy getaway for even an overnight or a weekend or whatever. But it truly is the town is charming too, and it's in a lovely area. And also, it's just about an hour from Durango, so you can combine those two places and get some fun Western town ambiance in them.
I like that part, so you have the relaxing part, the healing part, the springs that rejuvenate. And I know you went for some treatments, but I also saw in your article that you also indulged in some wonderful desserts. So I'm just saying that they allow you to be this is important, because I think sometimes when we talk about spas and resorts, and people think, oh, they're just going to make me eat carrot sticks and celery sticks. And it doesn't sound like that when you were there. Like you're getting the health benefits, but you can indulge.
Yeah, that's not this kind of place at all. This is you go, you do what you want to do, you enjoy, you indulge or don't indulge. That's totally up to you. This is not one of these places that, restricts anything, your activities or your calorie intake or anything like that. It's really the complete opposite. It really is just a place for people to just relax, restore, rejuvenate, maybe be introduced to some interesting new aqua type of activities, indulge in a wonderful spa treatment, have some good food. And, really the showcase of all is all these wonderful hot springs, the pools, which are amazing. And there's just dozens of them, and they've added even more. And it just, there's small ones and even bigger ones, and ones right on the river, because the river runs right by it. So you can, be sitting in a hot spring in a tub, and you can be looking out at the river. You can even go in the river. And in the summer, the river is, full of people that are, in there with their tubes, and there's dogs playing, and it's just a really delightful place. And it's, I felt like I said in my story that I felt like Goldilocks, because I went from, one pool to another, trying to figure out which, what temperature really feels good, because they have everything that ranges from 83 to even 114 degrees in terms of that. And it's labeled on the, each is the pool is labeled with a name that they give it, but also with the temperature, and they go around and they check the temperature periodically, and they will change the temperature on the sign depending on what the water temperature is at that time. So you've got, so many choices, and it never really feels crowded because there's just so many pools, and there's even a large pool, that's even that you can swim laps in, that's a little bit cooler, and there's waterfalls on them, and there's rock walls, and there's like even a grotto where you can get in. It's just there's so many wonderful options for people, and that's what the fun about it is, I think. And I want to say, people can come here for the day. There are day passes where you can enjoy the pools for the day, or what I did, and what a number of people like to do is to spend the night or spend several nights, and really have the time to focus.
I love that. And the rooms, it's like for a resort, 78 rooms means they're really taking care of you. That's what it says.
Oh, it's 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 amazing. Those are just the new guest rooms in the new building. There are other choices. You've got choices in the basically the old, what I would say, their original 1950s motel building. Then they
Oh,
have like a
cool.
mountain style lodge, and then they have these
Oh,
brand
wow.
new rooms and suites which are in this newly constructed building. I've stayed, actually, over the years. I've stayed in all three of those places. The most recently was the new one with the suites, which is really quite deluxe and lovely. But each one offers something different, and each one is geared towards different budgets. So once again,
Mhm.
there are options.
I love that. I love that. So I want to go into, I know the fact that you are like me on sleep habits are like, I'm very erratic because we travel so much, and I tend to do a lot of work. And sometimes then all of a sudden I'm like, I need sleep somehow. And then wire up even more. Like, they've talked about people get hallucinogenic if you don't sleep. And,
Right.
I haven't been there yet. Maybe. But I think sometimes they say that, sleep is a huge thing. I actually use sleep when I go to sleep. And if I really calm myself into meditation mode, I can actually tell myself to, solve a problem and do things, or even create my own dreams. It's really weird, but I have to be in that mindset and be in a place where I can do it. And so that doesn't always happen. But when it does, it's really cool. So, did you feel like you could reset your sleeping patterns into actually getting sleep while you were there? That's my
You
biggest
know what?
question, because
I
sleep
think,
is huge.
well, the room that I stayed in these new rooms have something that's called a deep sleep ritual tray. And I was so excited to see this because it features a deep sleep guide, and it features a sleep sack for your phone, which I loved, and then this lavender balm stick. And it had all these recommendations, that things that you could do. So you do what's called contrast bathing. They say going from, hot to cold to hot to cold. You soak before bedtime. You put your phone in the sleep sack. You can use that lavender stick, because lavender is something that helps in terms of relaxation. And, plus being outside and all the fresh air and the activities, believe me, when my head hit that pillow, that was it. And I slept so soundly that it just was remarkable. I would love to be able to, replicate all of that. I think, definitely soaking really helps to relax the body, especially, if you do it during the day, that's fine. But sometimes if you, do it right before you're going to go to bed, it really helps to kind of tell your body that it's time to just kind of let go and relax. And, of course, this water is, made with all this. I mean, it has all this wonderful minerals in it. It's fed by what they call the mother spring aquifer, and it really is the deepest geothermal spring in the world. So it's over 1,000 feet deep. So you, of course, can't go in this. You can see it, and because the temperature is just too hot. But there's like over a dozen different minerals and elements, and they've been proven scientifically for some therapeutic benefits, like lowering your blood pressure, like increasing your energy, promoting healthy skin, and all of that. But for me, it was all about yes, this really is so good for my body. It's so relaxing. And I don't do that enough. I don't even take baths enough. I should, but I don't. But I think that that is really, for me, maybe part of the key.
You know what? I think you hit on something really huge because how many of us take baths anymore? America is a shower culture.
Yes, yes, definitely. It's not
Truly.
like being in like being in Japan, no, baths are a cultural tradition there, Here they are not.
Yeah, and even growing up in South Africa, Kenya, England, which is very British, right? All the colonialisms over there, baths were a norm. A shower was actually kind of the luxury, like,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
so we did start to have showers in our bathtubs and it's all changed now, but growing up, a bath was the way to be. And now no one takes baths. Everyone's in
right,
a shower. So it's a quick go get clean real quick, but a bath does something and the hot water, but then there's that cold water plunge thing that you go
right.
from hot to cold. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
Well, they have something called the warrior plunge there. It's one of the activities that you don't have to do it guided. You can do it on your own. And it's done, at a special place, location on the river that's marked by a sign. And the idea, the key here is to enter without pausing, meaning just go in. And yes, it's a shock to the system because it's very cold. It's about, 49-degree water, and you're going from, you've been in these nice, wonderful hot pools. But, you know, they can tell you to take some, kind of quick breathing techniques. And then afterwards, you get out and you head to the closest hot pool, and you alternate between that cold hot. It's called contrast bathing, and supposedly that is really supposed to do a lot of good things for the body. It was a shock to my system, like I said, and I think I uttered a scream that everybody could hear. But I have done these polar types of plunges. I did one in Antarctica too that was intensely cold, but it really
Okay, you're not supposed
it
to get
wakes
in the cold.
it really wakes up the body. You know what I mean? It really does. It's kind of a cool sensation to do that and then to go into the hot water. And also they have this incredible, they built a new panoramic sauna which was gorgeous with views, and it just beautiful. Another wonderful place, to spend a little bit of time in. And then one of the not treatments, one of the activities I did that was called the mother's mud, which is basically, you apply this mud, this therapeutic mineral rich mud all over your body, and you sit with it outside for the sun to kind of dry it off. And once it's all dried, you rinse it off. But the result is, your skin just feels so soft and silky. And I've done those kinds of mud baths and mud treatments before, and they all work the same. They are truly wonderful.
I'm telling you, Nancy and I travel the country full time and we're in one water
Yes,
after the other. You know that as a traveler, right? The water on our skin is different everywhere we go. And sometimes you go and you take a shower somewhere and you're like, oh my gosh, the water's dry and this water's
right,
wet. I don't even know how to explain that to people, but there is this. And some water, you feel like your face is peeling off, not in a good
right,
way. And so I
right,
feel like
right,
sometimes we need this for our bodies just to rejuvenate, and mud feels like a very natural thing to me. It feels like I want to go in there now and have that.
right.
I do. I do. I feel like I want to go. I was reading an article. I'm like, I need to go there and probably stay there for a month. Just heal. You know what I mean? It's just like, I need your body. We need to take better care. And this seems to be more of a natural way of
Oh,
splashing.
totally.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Like this
It's
seems my
very
alley.
natural. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think it's for everybody, it's wonderful. And,
Yeah.
there's so many choices for these wonderful activities that you can do. I did aqua yoga, which was really interesting to do yoga
That's
in the
cool.
water
That's
because,
cool.
it's a whole different milieu. It's like, you're dealing with the resistance of water, or else you're dealing with the buoyancy of water when you're doing these yoga poses. So
Mm.
that was interesting and challenging, and, they offer all sorts of they offer an aqua floating meditation. They have
Mm.
sound bathing. They either do forest bathing where they go to the woods nearby. They just offer so many things. And then, their spa is another wonderful, wonderful place to of course, get whatever treatment you need from massages and facials and all sorts of things. So
Can
I
they
had
give
an
me a new
incredibly
face?
one. Yeah, I wish. Well, I had their radiance facial, and it really felt like it really plumped up my face, and it felt really good. Of course, that only lasts. It only lasts for so long, but it
See, I
sure
said I need
felt
to go
good.
there for a month because they need to do some work. I'm telling you, I've been in the sun too long. And it's like, I think that's the
Yes.
thing. I'm one of those people who never listened to my mama who's sitting here going, yep, I
Uh.
know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't need this. And now I'm going,
Yep.
why didn't I listen about the sun on my face?
Yep.
The
With me.
wind. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're for umbrellas for girls.
Well, what any esthetician or, dermatologist will tell you is like, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. And it's like, of course when I was younger, I didn't use sunscreen, it just was not, it was like, oh, just get out there and, just put,
Mm.
bury your body to the sun and,
Well,
tan or
yeah.
whatever it was, but, you
Well,
pay
yeah.
definitely pay for it later. I'll tell you. Yeah.
When
So,
I was in boarding school, we went on the roof and put Johnson's baby oil
yes.
on us.
Oh God, that was,
The tin
everybody did that.
foil?
These like these reflecting things, like the foil.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
we used
Yep.
tin foil. Remember that there was that episode of Kramer Seinfeld with Kramer and the basting liquid for the turkey or something, and then he like basted himself in the sun and became a roasted turkey on the roof. That's kind of where we were going. We'd put
Yep.
lemon in our hair.
Yes,
To
yes,
yes,
yep,
I know, but this is how, like,
yep, yep,
girls, do not do this now.
yep.
I think we're all
No,
educated. We have Google on our phones. We get
yeah.
it. I want to talk about the thermal turnout because this sounds
Oh, that was so cool.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's held only usually once a week on Wednesday evenings. There's this big Roman style pool. Is like a big rock in the middle, and you gather at the pool or in the pool. And there's this light and music show, and it's got some drums, some of those Tibetan singing bowls, lights. There's all these different colors and hues, and it's and when it starts to get dark, that's when all the lights come on, and it goes on for quite a while. And there were two men doing it, and it was just it was wonderful. It was, I just like closed my eyes. I was floating in the water, and it just, you let the sounds just lull you into this, as I said, a semi-comatic state. It's just a bunch of sensory elements that really, really kind of just took me on this very soothing journey, and it was just a terrific experience. I didn't know what to expect, but boy, that was a highlight.
Wow. And so you had the best room for you. You were like, this was awesome.
Yes,
Great place to sleep. You've got all these pools to explore, spa treatments, all these activities. I want to get into the food. I'm so
of course.
dying to get to the true indulgence, but I can't stand it. No, really. I'm dying to get to this one part, but I'm going to behave. So breakfast, let's start at breakfast. So you could basically stay there and not have to leave the property. It sounds like. Food wise.
Absolutely. There's several different options for food. They have a cafe that is great for breakfast. They have these crepes, and then they had, a place called the 1891 Poolside Provisions, which also has some great munchies, and then there was a place to get a lot of cold drinks at called the Canteen, and they had a lot of like spritzers, and then one of the brand new restaurant that's actually a standalone restaurant is called Wild Finch, which is right. It's connected to the new building that has the new suites where I stayed and the new rooms there. But was delicious, and eclectic menu, some great, some good seafood, and then some good meat dishes, and but chicken and beautiful salads, and all of it was wonderful. And of course, I had my favorite salmon, which was fabulous. But the dessert was really, really, really fun. I looked
You're at
around
my
and I saw
thing.
I saw this dessert, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And then the wait person pointed it out and said, "It's the Campfire Girl," and it's
Yeah.
like you've got this smoked chocolate, this meringue, this vanilla ice cream, and a potato chip,
This
and
is
it
where
was
I'm going,
to
though. This is
die
it.
for. Yes, and my husband and I we split it, but it's like I really wanted my own.
See, I wanted to bring this up. So we recently I put a call out to all our Big Blend Radio peeps and said, like, we're doing a burger show, right? And everyone comes back, and we ended up doing a 3-episode series. This is insane. Who
Wow.
knew? Yeah, who knew? But burgers are popular. And I freaked people out because I had heard this podcast on NPR on this ice cream guy, and he learned about ice cream from his grandfather. And I really wish I could remember his name. But he is like almost like Michelin star kind of person with ice cream, right? He has a food truck
Mm.
kind of thing, and he creates these flavors that are extraordinary. And one of them was about when you go to a diner and you have a hamburger and a malt, don't you take your French fries and dip them in the malt, the ice cream, the milkshake kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, we all kind of did that kind of way. And everybody thought I was nuts. And this proves that this is good, right? Because of the salt from the potato chip crumble on the ice cream. That's
Yep.
exactly what happened on that. And so when I was reading the article, everything's like awesome. I want to go. I need this. I need to go. And then I saw this and I'm like, I can have all that is good for my body and my skin, which needs help. And I can have chocolate ice cream meringue and potato chip crumble on that. Like, I think this would be like, I do need to move in for a month. Like, honestly, is it? No, have
Yeah,
you put your French fries in your milkshake ever?
you know what? I never did that, but my brothers did. More of
Just
a
kind of did.
I was a
You know,
purist. I really just wanted my French fries. I didn't even put them in ketchup or anything. I just wanted French fries, really crisp French fries, you know. So that was my thing. But I know quite a number of people who did that. That definitely was a thing when I was growing up, you know. So no, I completely hear you there.
yeah, this is, I think what you had is the best thing. That is, it took it to the crisp. So you don't have the mushy potato in there. You don't want the mushy potato in the milkshake. I
No,
don't want that
no,
part, but
no.
this makes it. So
It's just
I'm,
yeah, it's just like one of these desserts that you think, "Oh my gosh, what a brilliant idea. You combine this like sweet and
mm,
salty, you know, and it's
mm,
just
for
it makes
pretzels.
yeah, and it makes everybody think of like, you know, campfire, you know, it's got all
Mm.
those, you know, marshmallow and chocolate and not just oh yum, you know, it's like a
And when you went
s'more
to
with ice
bed,
cream. Ugh,
you felt like you had an epic day. It's
oh my
cool.
gosh. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. But
I would
you
give
know,
up
if you
my
can
glass of
stay
wine
there
for this. Yeah, saying. I know that's rare.
Yeah, you know,
I
it's
would.
just I think, you know, if you go, even if you go, you know, if you go for the day, for a night, for a couple days, you know, just I just think it's, you know, something wonderful to treat yourself to and, you know, to say this is good for me. I'm doing some good
Mm.
for myself, you know?
I love that we're talking about this at this time of year. September is the season of change, and our skins go through things. Like we do shed, human bodies shed at least twice a year. Everybody's different. I think I'm not a doctor, but we do shed just like lizards and everything. We do have I know that's not a thing anybody wants to hear about, but we do. But when the season of change comes and kids are going back to school and we're getting towards the holiday season now, we're in fall. We're in fall, y'all. It's also time to reflect on taking time out as things ramp up into crazy land towards the holidays. And I think if people do this the last quarter of the year, it will help go through the crazy part and maybe not have so much craziness. What do you think?
I think it's a wonderful thing to do. I mean, I think it's also a great thing to do when you start off a new year, you know, like
Oh,
in
that's a good point.
January.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, I mean, first of all, you don't need anything to have a reason to go, you know, other than just you
Right.
want to go. But, you know, all these things that you're talking about, yes, they, you know, definitely make sense, you know, and
Mm.
people can say, hey, I want to start off my school year, my new year, whatever it is, I want to, you know, start it off and this is what I'm going to do to put it on a good level for me, you know?
Yeah, it's a good way to kick off something.
Right.
If I want to be healthier, I'm going to take this. I like the New
Yes.
Year one. Duh. Yeah. That's really cool. It's like I'm investing in myself and it's not a huge investment. No,
No.
it's
I
something you
think
can do. Yeah. It seems
yeah,
to
I
be
think
pretty moderate, especially if you're doing a day pass. You can do.
absolutely. Absolutely. You know, just going for the day to me would be, you know, a wonderful way to treat yourself. And, you know, like I said, you can spend the day and soak as much as you want. So, you know, you don't even have, like you said, you don't have to leave the property. There's plenty of places to eat on it, you know, whatever, a drink. And, even though if you want to, there's this lovely bridge that you just walk right over and you're right in town. You can walk along the river at the river walk, and you
Oh,
can go
that's
to,
perfect.
there's, shops and other little restaurants as well. So yeah, it's not a big town. It's very, very easy to get around. So yeah, it's one of those things that, if you want to leave the property, do so and explore a little.
I love this. I love this. Everyone, PagosaHotSprings.com is the website. It's linked in the episode notes, as is Debbie's article. You want to check it out, see some of the photos, get a grip of that, just get that idea of what it's like. And I'd like to check in for a month. I'm just saying, y'all, I need to go there. And I love the fact that you can park and walk to town. I love that. I really
Right.
love it when you can just park and walk. I love walkability. That's my
Yes.
happy zone. And that's really good. I mean, that's part of the getting healthy too. We do so much sitting at computers or sitting at a table looking at our phone that, this kind of jolts us out of that. So I think this is really, really cool. It's one of my favorite destinations you've talked about in regards to resorts and spas. In all honesty, Debbie, I think this is one of the best because it has that connection to nature and it just, yeah, and the dessert, I'm just saying. And if I can get good night's sleep, that's perfect. So thank you so much. Debbie will be
You're
back next
welcome.
month, and you never know. She's going to Morocco. She's been to near Yountville, near Napa. She's been all over the place. I mean, by the time we get to the next episode, she's been 10 places. So,
Well,
next. So stay tuned.
that's right. Well, thank you so much, and safe travels to you as well.
Thank you. Take care, Debbie.
Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to Big Blend Radio's Global Adventures Show with travel writer Debbie Stone. Debbie is here every fourth Tuesday. You can keep up with us at bigblendradio.com.